As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past.
Yeah.
It's the moment that turned your typical View episode into an unforgettable cultural flashpoint. Morgan Freeman, an icon in Hollywood and beyond, dropped some truth bombs on the live stage that left the hosts of The View frozen, and the internet buzzing with wild reactions. What started as just another day of daytime television turned into a history-making, edge-of-your-seat exchange that had viewers questioning everything from the media's role in shaping history to how we tell our stories. And trust me, it wasn't just an interview, it was a reckoning.
This is not something we're doing because it's, sexually gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's dive in, because this moment is way too big to ignore. What happened when Freeman walked onto the set of The View was nothing short of explosive, but the real question is, why was the conversation cut short, and what did that say about the direction mainstream media is heading? Let's get into it.
761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers, about the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman didn't mince words when he sat down with the hosts of The View. As a kid, he said, he didn't see people like himself in the movies. If there were any characters who looked like him, they were often sidekicks, the background guys, or worse, stereotypes. Freeman's voice, that deep, gravelly tone we've all come to know and love, filled the studio. And from the moment he opened his mouth, you could feel the shift in the air. The studio was no longer just another TV set. It was a classroom, and Freeman was the professor.
He spoke and did this with several different soldiers. I don't have an issue with it. The older, if it's about age, which everybody's trying to make it about.
He talked about a time when Black representation in media wasn't just rare, it was non-existent. A time when the only Black characters in films were rarely the heroes or the leaders, but often just there to serve the plot. His words were measured, firm, yet calm, like a slow burn that was about to explode. The hosts, including Whoopi Goldberg, typically quick-witted and ready with a retort, were noticeably silent. Their usual playful banter evaporated as they sat, frozen in respect, unable to speak over the weight of what Freeman was saying.
Oh, that was a good one.
Scared the hell out of me.
It did.
But I just, movies.
Freeman didn't stop at the past. No, he brought that history into the present. Decades later, Freeman argued, the issue of representation in Hollywood has not only not gone away, it's evolved. And that, my friends, is where things got real interesting. Freeman turned to Sunny Hostin, one of the View co-hosts, who had earlier brought up Black battalions and their contributions. He didn't let it slide. He called it out.
And move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
Yeah.
Do you realize how little of that story has been told? Freeman asked, his gaze steady. How many young people today don't even know about the Black soldiers who fought and died for this country? Now, Sunny was trying to respond, trying to steer the conversation back, but Freeman, as smooth as ever, gently raised his hand, a sign of respect, but also a clear signal. Let me finish.
The fact that his bond... Hold on. Sir.
What's
I
that?
have to stop you with the camera, because I can see you. So do me a favor, don't pull it out again.
Freeman wasn't just talking about one project, one documentary, or one person's story. He wasn't focused on a single event. He was focused on the system, the pattern that has ignored, silenced, and erased entire generations of stories. Stories of struggle, triumph, pain, and victory. Stories that matter. The camera was still rolling, and the audience, silent, hanging on to every word, began to realize this wasn't just another celebrity promoting a movie. This was a moment of truth. Freeman's calm, almost understated way of calling out the media's role in perpetuating gaps in storytelling had an electric energy in the room. It was a moment that transcended the typical celebrity interview. becoming a much-needed reality check for anyone who had ever wondered how we got to where we are today in terms of representation.
Like America is, we're mixed. We're a mixed bunch. And sometimes it may seem like there's more Democrats, and sometimes it seems like there's more Republicans. But the truth of the matter is, very few people seem to bite it because they're Republican.
Freeman didn't stop there. He switched gears and began discussing Hollywood's responsibility. How movies and TV shows are more than just entertainment. They shape the world's view of reality. But when the stories that are told are always through the same lens, Freeman argued, we all lose. What happens to the young person who never sees someone like them as the hero, the leader, the savior?
But I would encourage you to sit still for a minute and learn the job.
It was an indictment and a plea at the same time. And you could tell Freeman wasn't asking for charity. He was demanding justice. He made it clear that telling the truth is not an act of kindness, it's a responsibility. This wasn't just about entertainment. This was about ensuring that every story, especially the ones that have been silenced for so long, has a place in the larger narrative. Freeman wasn't interested in making people feel comfortable. He was interested in pushing the needle.
There were servants.
Servants.
They were always. I
Yeah.
know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch,
As Freeman's words filled the room, the View hosts finally realized the gravity of the conversation they were in. Whoopi, who is no stranger to tough topics, finally broke the silence. Morgan, you're right, she said, nodding slowly, acknowledging the undeniable truth Freeman had laid out. Freeman smiled softly but didn't let up. It's not about me being right, it's about all of us figuring out how to fix this. And that's when the full weight of the conversation landed. It was about everyone being responsible for ensuring these voices were heard. It was about truth, and it was about action.
How your doctors work, nobody knows what you need but you. So I want them to back off telling me what I have to do, because that's the same thing that I hear from others.
The room erupted in applause, spontaneous, real, and deserved. The kind that makes you believe change is not only possible, but inevitable. Now, The View is no stranger to controversy. But what happened after this segment aired? Well, let's just say the internet exploded. The backlash was swift and relentless. Fans of Freeman flooded social media, praising his eloquence, his poise, and his courage. But there was also a growing backlash against the show, with viewers accusing The View of prioritizing their narrative over the hard truths Freeman was laying down.
Oh, yeah. You know, I could have helped you with all of that.
I did ask you, Whoopi.
didn't? No, you did not.
One particularly viral tweet read, Morgan Freeman came with facts and history, but The View wasn't ready for a masterclass in truth. They cut him off because he challenged their comfort zone. This tweet quickly garnered thousands of retweets and likes, sparking a firestorm across platforms. Clips of Freeman's powerful statements quickly circulated, with captions like, "When Morgan Freeman schools Hollywood in 5 minutes," and "When the truth hits too hard for live TV." The clip became a viral sensation, and Freeman's fans came to his defense, calling out the show for cutting him off too soon.
Old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
It's the period
it's not
of
her
time
fault.
that
It's
the
the
movies
period.
were made.
Yeah.
It's
just what
upsetting
they
to
were
watch.
doing.
But what exactly happened? Why was the segment cut short? Well, according to insiders at The View, it wasn't entirely an accident. Producers were reportedly uneasy about the direction the conversation was taking. They feared losing control of the narrative. So, the plug was pulled. The moment Freeman was making his most potent point about Hollywood and the media's role in systemic erasure, The View switched gears and moved on.
Tell you the
Well,
truth.
it shouldn't be that way
It
because
is.
somebody did make money,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And now that's the time.
And that revelation? It only made things worse. Viewers were furious. Some called it a missed opportunity, an attempt to avoid uncomfortable truths. Others started pointing out that mainstream media outlets, especially shows like The View, are increasingly unwilling to tackle serious issues. Instead of diving into real dialogue, They prefer to stay in their safe zones of gossip, fluff, and sensationalism. On social media, hashtags like #LetFreeman_Speak and #UnfinishedHistory began to trend. It wasn't just about a TV segment anymore. It was a broader commentary on how media fails to engage with deeper, more complex topics. Fans, historians, and activists alike began to share clips of Freeman's commentary, urging people to listen. "His words matter," one fan tweeted. "We need more people like Morgan Freeman who are willing to speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable."
My perspective on life, I don't think it changed my perspective. It just enhanced it. Because for a long time now, I've been listening to what they say about, I drive an electric car.
Freeman didn't respond to the backlash directly. True to form, he stayed silent. He didn't release statements or fan the flames. He didn't need to. His message had already been heard loud and clear. In the days following the episode, his words continued to ripple across media platforms, classrooms, and even Hollywood boardrooms. Conversations about racial representation, systemic biases, and media's role in shaping history became front and center in the public's consciousness. Teachers shared clips with their students. Activists used his remarks to spotlight the gaps in storytelling. Historians pushed for more inclusive narratives that better reflect the full spectrum of our shared history.
We're always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
But we've always been here.
Yeah?
Fluxing out.
Flux.
It wasn't just a celebrity interview. It was a wake-up call to the media and to all of us, demanding that we re-examine how we tell stories and who gets to tell them. So, was this just another missed opportunity? Or was Freeman's appearance on The View a breakthrough moment? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Freeman's words were cut short because they were too real for TV? Or was The View just following its usual format? And most importantly, how do you think we can make sure these conversations happen more often on mainstream platforms? Don't forget to like, subscribe to Celeb Titbits, and hit that notification bell for more. This is just the beginning, and we'll be here to break it down with you every step of the way.